Hello, everyone. Today's chess puzzle.
Correct.
White's rook on a6,
Okay.
bishop on c4,
Uh-huh.
pawn on b3, pawn on g3, bishop on d2,
Got it.
pawn on h2, and king on g1.
Right?
Black's rook on f8, pawn on a7, king on g7,
Yeah.
pawn on c5, pawn on f5, pawn on h5,
Mm-hmm.
pawn on b4, bishop on e4, pawn on g4, and knight on c3. Let's get this going.
Right. Looking at this, a complex situation indeed.
Yeah.
White to move, and the black king on g7 looks somewhat restricted already.
Yeah, I see that.
The bishop on d2 has a few potential paths, but what catches my eye is the possibility of moving it to h6.
Bishop to h6. Okay. My initial thought is, what does that achieve immediately?
Where?
It doesn't look like a direct attack.
Exactly. It's about subtly limiting the black king's movement even further.
Mm-hmm.
If the bishop goes to h6, the g7 square is still occupied,
Right.
and the f7 square is indirectly controlled. That really only leaves h7 as a viable escape.
So we're cutting off options. I see. Now, if the king does move to h7, what's the follow-up?
Right.
Because the bishop on h6 isn't doing much on its own in terms of immediate threats.
Precisely. But placing the bishop on h6 opens up another possibility.
Okay.
Consider moving that bishop from h6 to f8.
Bishop from h6 to f8. Now, that's interesting.
Yes.
Because that immediately puts black's rook on f8 under attack.
It does, yeah.
And with the king potentially on h7, he can't easily defend it.
That's the key.
Yeah.
It's a sequence of moves where the first bishop move prepares the ground for the second, creating a tangible threat.
Right.
It highlights a common tactical idea in chess. Restrict the opponent's king, then exploit the resulting limitations.
So, while it's not a checkmate, white gains a significant advantage by attacking the rook.
Yeah.
That's material game, which in the long run can be decisive. It's like setting up a domino effect.
Precisely. By limiting the king's mobility,
Yeah.
white forces a response that allows for a material advantage. The initial bishop move to h6 might seem quiet, but it's instrumental in setting up the subsequent attack on the rook.
Okay, so the answer is bishop from d2 to h6.
Yes.
Black responds with king from g7 to h7.
Right.
White then moves bishop from h6 to f8.
There you go.
White moves bishop from d2 to h6. Black then moves king from g7 to h7. Finally, white moves bishop from h6 to f8,
Yeah.
leading to an attack on the black rook and a clear advantage for white.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you.